Solo raising a dragon from hatchling to adult can be a challenging but useful skill to have. This video will cover the shadow scale and acid spitter specifically, but the basics can be used for most dragons. After picking your server, you can select which dragon you want to spawn as, unless you already have one saved. The acid spitter will require a DLC pack to spawn in fresh, but if you find yourself a family of acid spitters who are willing to invite you to their nest, you are able to play and come back to that particular spitter whenever you want to on that server. With a fresh spawn, you are able to select your gender and from a list of skins. While all but iridescent skins can be obtained through hatching from parents with them, there are some skins that can be selected specifically, or are hidden amongst the random skin selection. The melanistic or black skin, as well as some future skins, can be unlocked in-game to then be used at the menu for any future spawn dragons on that server. Once in-game, take your time as an egg to scout and check the area is clear, particularly if you're on a PvP server. Then press E to hatch. Finding water will be your first priority, so hold F to start sniffing the area. Blue will lead to water, purple to an AI creature to hunt, and green to mushrooms. The blue is what you want to start with, so head in that direction. Most hatchling spawns won't be around deep water, but instead around these shallow puddles, often marked with tall rocks. Grab a drink with E, and then find a place to hide. Shadow scales will have an easier time at this by crouching with C, and then pressing Q to activate their cloak ability. In crouch, and by not moving, you are eventually able to completely go invisible while not using stamina. Hiding is often not necessary, but on PvP servers it can be a good idea in case a hungry dragon wants something a bit more filling than a bug. Larger dragons are able to carry hatchlings by pressing E near them. If you don't wish to be carried, simply keep clicking the left mouse button to struggle out of their grip. Speaking of hunger, often a mushroom or two can be found around these ponds, but it's best to wait till you are about 30% hunger to make the most of them. To check your stats, press I. Hunger and thirst will go up over time, and you want them to stay low. Clicking enter while in the character panel will free up your mouse to hover over your growth progress bar and see how you are doing. It is important to note that growing in this game always happens until you reach adult. As you grow, so does your speed and attack strength, so it can be beneficial to wait as long as you can before going out to hunt your first meal. Use E while next to the red mushroom to eat. While they are toxic, they are safe so long as you sleep off their effects. Hold R to go into a lay down position, and then hold R again to go into a sleep. You can also go directly into a sleep position by holding Shift and R from standing. Sitting is achieved through tapping R, and all of these positions can be exited by tapping R. On PvP servers, other hatchlings are an option for food, but you might want to go after something a little less risky, such as the bulbous spine scrab. The scrab for short, or giggle popcorn if you prefer, is an AI creature that can be found all over the wooded areas. You will often need to sniff them out, however listening for the scratching sounds as they hunt in the undergrowth is also very useful. Scrabs are aggressive to smaller dragons, and defensive to larger ones. If they spot you, they will go into a defensive stance with their claws raised. Acid spitters will have an easier time hunting using their sprint ability. Crouch with C and then run with Shift and W. This will activate your sprint and make you near impossible to hit so long as you do a hit and run. It will take you quite a few hits for your first scrab, but keep at it and you will take it down. For the shadow scale you will have to be sneaky. Again crouch, but this time hit Q to go invisible and wait for the scrab to lose interest. Then run and hit as you go past. You are not as fast as the acid spitter, but your cloak should help you get a surprise attack before the scrab can attack you back. If you do get hit though, lay down until the bleed stops, but not too close to the scrab. A few more hits and it should go down. You can eat your kill right there, or you can carry it back to a safer spot. Hold your right mouse button to get your target reticle and hold it over what you want to pick up. Then hit E. Bugs are small enough that you won't have a problem carrying them, but larger bodies may be too heavy. Hit E again to drop. Holding E over the body will start you eating. Try and make sure you eat the entire kill. This is another reason to wait till you are hungry, as a body will cause a very clear scent trail that can lead others to you. It might be tempting to try and hunt thornback crawlers that can be hanging around their nests, but unless you have a group of hatchlings, you are unlikely to be able to take them down before they run back to their nest for safety. Now all you have to do is rinse and repeat until you get close to Adolescents. As you get closer, keep an eye on your growth bar and make sure your thirst bar is topped up if you're growing by a puddle. You will not be able to drink from this type of watering hole once you reach that threshold, and you will need to move to a new spot with deeper water. This is actually one of the more dangerous points in your growth, as you are still small and not as mobile, and you have a decent amount of time invested in your dragon by now. Growth times vary depending on dragon, with 2 hours to reach an adult on the acid spitter and 3 on the shadow scale. However, the game opens up a lot once you hit juvenile in about half that time. Thankfully, the juvenile stage has a much reduced hunger and thirst rate, so you should have plenty of time to search for water. As you learn the map, you will get to know where these bodies of water are, but till then, maps can be found on the Day of Dragons Discord. Your character panel has coordinates located in the top left, and you are able to turn the compass on so that it shows on your game screen. The juvenile stage is the first chance you'll get to add a mutation point to one of your stats. Press enter while in the character panel to have access to your mouse, then hover over each skill tree to see what each does. When you've made your choice, don't forget to save. The shadow scale has one last trick it can do. Even as a newborn hatchling, if dropped from a high enough place, you are able to press F and enter fly mode. This is great fun to pass the time in a group. When you reach juvenile, you may be able to find spots where you can also jump to achieve this. Once you hit about a third of your way through juvenile, you should be able to now run and get enough speed to take off from the ground. Check out my flight videos for more information on flying and its controls. Hopefully this will help you find your feet when starting out in Day of Dragons. Remember, playing as a group is not only safer but also a lot of fun. Press O to open your social panel. Any invites you have will appear on the bottom right. If you wish to send out your own invite, first start a group and then click on a player's name hitting Send Invite. Clans are more permanent than a group and are handled on the left side. I have a lot more quick information in my 20 tips and tricks guide if you want to learn even more to stay alive, as well as other guide videos.